Hey, boys, girls. So these are the answers to pages 161 and 162, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. Let's get started. First question here says, what's the surface area of a sphere with a radius of 4.4 centimeters? So remember, the area of a sphere is surface area equals, come on, 4 pi r squared. So let's fill in what we know. So we have 4 times 3.14 times the radius squared. So the radius is 4.4. So let's go ahead and let's bring this over here. So 4.4 squared is going to be 19.36. That equals 19.36. So now let's just multiply this all out and we get our answer. So times 3.14 times 4, and that's going to equal 243.2. So the surface area equals 243.2 centimeters squared. Okay. Number 3. So a fully inflated beach ball has a radius of 10 inches. What's the surface area? So again, the surface area, we do surface area equals 4 pi r squared. So that's going to become, when we fill everything in, 4 times 3.14 times, that's going to be 100 because the radius is 10. 10 squared is 100. So if I multiply this all out, 4 times 3.14 gives us 12.56, and 12.56 times 100 gives us 1,256 inches squared as our answer for A. For B, what's the volume? So of the air inside the beach ball, so we're doing the volume, which was volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. So let's fill in what we know. So 4/3 times 3.14 over 1 times the radius cubed. So 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000. So that gives us 1,000. All right, so over 1. So we multiply this all out. So that gives us 4 times 3.14 gives us 12.56. And 12.56 times 1,000 gives us 12,560. We multiply our denominators together, we get 3. Now let's go ahead and simplify that by just dividing. So 12,560 divided by 3 is going to equal 4,186.7. So the volume equals 4,186.7. That is inches cubed. All right, so this is the answer for A, and this is the answer for B. Moving on to number 4. So what's the surface area of a sphere with a diameter of 28.6? So again, surface area for a sphere is 4 pi r squared. So the problem is we have the diameter here. So, well, it's not really a problem, but so the formula calls for radius. So we just have to go ahead and cut this in half. So 28.6 divided by 2 is 14.3. So now we could do 4 times 3.14 times, let's do that radius squared. So let's do 14.3 squared is going to be 204.49. So 204.49. So let's multiply that all out. So times 3.14 times 4, and that gives us 2,568.4. So the surface area equals 2,568.4, and that's going to be centimeters squared. So this is the answer for A. A lot of people didn't do B, or they did it wrong. It was because it was a tough one, I think. So let's go through it. So what is the surface area of a sphere with a volume of 3,680 cubic centimeters? So the problem is here we have the volume, and that's it. So what we have to do is we got to work backwards to figure out the radius. So let's look. Here's the formula for volume. Volume equals 4/3. It's the worst 3 ever. 4/3 pi r cubed. So let's do this. Let's fill in the things that we know. So we have 3,680 equals 4/3 times 3.14 over 1 times r cubed. All right, so now let's do this part right here. Let's do what we know here. We know this part. So 4/3 times 3.14. Well, 4 times 3.14 is 12.56. And we put that over 3 because 3 times 1 is 3. So 12.56 divided by 3 equals, so let's say that's 4.19. So we'll say that's going to equal 4.19. So 4.19. So we're left with 3680 equals 4.19 r cubed. So let's keep going here. Let's get this r cubed by itself. So let's divide both sides by 4.19. Divide this by 4.19. So we're left with, I have 4.19 divided by, 3680 divided by 4 point, now, what are you doing? Divided by 4.19, and that equals this, 878.3. So we have 878.3 equals r cubed. And don't forget, I don't want to know what r cubed is, I want to know what r is. So I'm going to find the cube root of r cubed, and that's going to be r. And now let's find the cube root of 878.3. So that's this button right here, the cube root. That's going to give us 9.6, we'll say. So the radius equals 9.6. All right, now after all that work, we're still not even done. So we now know the radius. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and find the surface area. Let's go back to the original question. What's the surface area of a sphere with a volume of 3,680? Well, a sphere with a volume of 3,680 has a radius of 9.6. So now we can go through and do the surface area formula. Surface area equals 4 pi r squared. So we have 4 times 3.14 times, so we have the radius squared. In this case is going to be, we're saying it's 9.6. So 9.6 squared is going to be 92.16. So we have 92.16. Let's multiply this all out and see what we get. So times 3.14 times 4 equals 1,157.5. So surface area equals 1,157.5 centimeters cubed, centimeters squared. Now, I think that there will be different answers here to a certain extent. So I took all these numbers here, like this 4.19 was rounded. I rounded this 9.6. So the book has an answer of 1,152.5. So that could change that. That could change the answer depending on how things were rounded. So if I just kept all the actual numbers and didn't round it, the answer would be a little bit different. But this is what I got based on doing what we're doing. All right. So number 5. So a billiard ball, that's like a pool ball, like you play pool on, has a surface area of 84 square centimeters. What's the radius? So surface area equals 4 pi r squared. So we have 84 equals 4 times 3.14 times radius squared. Okay, so let's simplify here. So we have 84 equals 12.56 r squared. We're going to divide both sides by 12.56. Okay, and we're left with 84 divided by 12.56. That gives us let's say 6 point, let's go 6.7. So 6.7 equals r squared. Let's find the square root of r squared is r. Let's find the square root of 6.7. So the square root, we have 2.58. So now I had, let's see, a lot of people said 2.6. So let's see if I just put 6.7 in there, the square root of that gives us 2.58, which is 2.6. So again, that's how the rounding could change your answer. So I just had, the original answer I got was, again, just real quick. So 84 divided by 12.56. If I found the square root of just that, that's going to give me 2.58, which is, okay, which is good, which is what we got. However, if I took this answer, 84 divided by 12.56, got that, and then rounded that, so let's say to 6.7. So 6.7, the square root of that gives us 2.58. It's the same thing every time. I don't know what I did there. Anyway, all right. I should erase this, but I'm not going to. So that's the answer, 2.6. I don't know if I got something else. Anyway, moving on. It's embarrassing. All right. Last one here. Nathan cuts a clay sphere in half to get 2 hemispheres. He measures the circumference and the hemisphere of the hemisphere to be 175.84. So what's the radius of each hemisphere? So if you look at this hemisphere from the top, it's going to be a circle. Okay, and we know that the circumference equals 175.84. All right, centimeters. So from there, we're looking for the radius. Now, there's 2 formulas to find the circumference of a circle. We can use circumference equals pi times diameter, but in this case, I'm not going to use that. I could use that, but I'm not going to use that because there's no r in there for the radius. Again, we could do it, just cut our answer in half, but I'm going to use this one. Circumference equals 2 pi r. Okay? So, let's fill in what we know. So we have 175.84 is equal to 2 times 3.14 times r. So let's do 2 times 3.14. That gives us 6.28 r equals 175.84. Let's divide both sides by 6.28. Okay, let's divide both sides by 6.28. And we're going to get 175.84 divided by 6.28, so 175 point, I can't remember this, 84 divided by 6.28 gives us 28. So perfect, so 28 equals the radius. All right, that's the answer for A. Now for B, what's the total surface area of each solid hemisphere? Well, so here's the hemisphere. The formula to find the volume of a hemisphere is 3 pi r squared. All right. So let's do 3 times 3.14 times the radius squared. The radius is 28, so 28 squared is going to give us 784. So times 784. So let's do that. So times 3 times 3.14 equals 7,385.28. So let's just say 7,000, I just lost it. Let's say 7,385, 7,385 point, that's 28, let's say 0.3 centimeters squared. Find the surface area. Perfect. This is the answer to B. All right, guys, and this was A. Anybody has any questions on any of these, please email me, and I'll try to help you out. All right. That's it.